So hello, everybody. Welcome back to At Any Age. This is Kaitlyn,
And this is Lisa.
and we are excited to bring you another episode. Once again, something different's going on in our lives. We're doing this remotely. So I'm at home, Lisa's at home, and we're trying something new.
That we are.
It's gonna be super, super weird not to see Lisa across the way from me.
It might help a little bit. We might not have to keep on stopping and retaking.
Yeah, get off track because we're, giggling away, looking at each other, making faces. So that's definitely very helpful. But yeah, I mean, life for me keeps moving with interesting things going on and just really trying, as we know, to figure out what I'm doing in this dating life, taking a break, but also open to conversations with past people and seeing where that might go, taking chances with, people that may have filtered in and out of my life and seeing if there's a chance there with them. So definitely not re-downloading those dating apps though, that's for sure. I'm over that.
So you're taking a break, but you're not taking a break. Is that what you're
Well,
telling us? Because you're not reloading down the apps. I understand that, but you're also
yes.
open to dating people who were in your life or who are in your life who you did not date, but
Yes.
potential people that you would date. I get it.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't want to re-download an app because I feel like that just pulls me down and it's very consuming. Just kind of sit there and swipe through. But there are people that I connected with before on apps where we did the whole like exchange Instagram information or the Snapchat information. I do not like doing that one. But more so like the Instagram information where we chatted like maybe back and forth for a couple days and then it kind of like petered out. But giving, I don't know, the real opportunity to get to know these people, put in a little effort myself, and I see there's effort coming from them too, and just meeting in person and getting that ball rolling. Because I know we talked about how often it's kind of like, ugh, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then no one makes a move. And I'm like, let's not do that again. Let's make a move. So to answer your kind of question, yes, I'm taking a break from maybe how I'm getting these dates, but I'm also open to meeting people in whatever way is going to happen.
Okay,
Like,
I just wanted to clarify that.
yeah, no, of course. No, of course. I think that's a great question. And going back out there into the dating world is
It's tough.
not exactly, yeah, it is tough. But I did have a couple questions for you, Lisa.
You go right ahead, Kaitlyn.
Okay. Well, there are actually more new age dating terms than I ever thought were possible. And I'm like, I definitely want to ask Lisa to see if she knows what the heck these terms are because they definitely did not exist. I feel like they didn't even exist like even a few years ago. But let's see. The first one, I've mentioned this one to you.
This will be interesting, funny, but interesting. Yeah,
Okay, ready? Mooning.
I'm sorry, guys. When I think of mooning, I think of something totally different from back in my day. And I'm sure if you're from back in my day, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But
Yes.
mooning, oh, I know we talked about this and I totally lost it.
Oh, good, because I want to hear your raw, like, thoughts.
On what it is?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Mooning to me is not mooning. I mean, it's mooning like back in the day, you used to moon like, okay, you pull your pants down, you moon somebody. No, I'm sorry, folks.
It's not that, though. It's not that. What do you think it means in the dating world?
Mooning would be, oh my gosh, you're mooning. You're like, I have no idea. My mind is totally blank.
Okay. Here we go. Ready? It's where one partner ignores the other. So they know their partner's existence, like obviously that they exist, but they still avoid one another, not because of a fight, but because they don't want to talk or don't like to follow a routine.
Yeah, that's kind of, I don't know if the mooning goes with that, but okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how it fits too.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe because a moon only comes out every once in a while,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
still don't understand that, but okay.
Okay, on to the next one. This one I know you've heard of too. Breadcrumbing.
Breadcrumbing. That's when somebody's being crummy to you. No, I'm joking.
Whoa, okay, yeah, that definitely could be it.
What?
And I definitely, I mean, I agree when someone's being crummy to you, but it's happening to you and it's happened. What do you think it means?
I think somebody just is just dragging you on. I don't know, leading
Mm,
you on,
yeah.
right?
No, it, yeah.
They're
Yeah.
like showing interest in you when it's convenient for you, for them. Um,
Yep.
somebody that's just dragging you along or trying to drag you along, I should say.
Yeah, so it means like one partner does not want to meet in person and wishes to carry on the relationship by talking, chatting, flirting, with like via phone, whether it's the apps or social media.
Or texting.
It's yep, yep. And it's also called benching. So you can call it breadcrumbing or benching. Basically, like you're putting one person to the side and you're like, okay, like I'm gonna continue to play the field, but you're still on the bench. I'm still gonna reach out to you.
I think the benching sounds much better than the breadcrumbing because that makes more sense. Benching because you're benching somebody, but the breadcrumbing, I have no clue who came up with that idea. But
Yeah, I think it's just like because you give people a little bit, you don't give it all. Like you're still like sprinkling conversation in there to still keep them hooked on.
that would be sprinkle,
Sprinkle, oh my goodness, a new age date
right?
right there. You're
Sprinkling.
sprinkling.
You're
I
sprinkling.
love it.
That is
I
a new
love
one.
that.
That's better than breadcrumb sprinkling.
Yeah, you're sprinkling. You know what? That might even go somewhere, Lisa. Who knows? It might catch on.
It might.
But it's awful that people do that. Like, my thing is, why is there no feelings considered? We are taught, not even taught, but, with the way we have our faith and the way that God wants us to be, kind and loving and love everybody as much as we can. Like obviously that could be a big conversation about how to love people that maybe aren't making the best choices or aren't doing right by you or someone else, but it just really truly blows my mind that breadcrumbing, benching, that term can be a thing in regards to knowing that we should be loving everybody.
But I don't think everybody feels that way
True.
about loving everybody. And, like I said before, I don't think we all know what people have gone through. It doesn't excuse their behavior, but not everybody's going to be on the same page with you.
Yeah.
Not
No, you're right.
going to like you or love you the way that you love or like them.
Yeah.
I mean, there are going to be people who do, but you're going to come
Yes.
across people who don't in life. And I just find it's just, for me personally, it's just to treat everybody with respect. And, you might not like everybody, or love everybody, but you still need to treat people with respect. So getting back to that, I think it's all about respect. You asked, why do people do that? I think they need to it's
Learning about respect.
yeah, people, it's not being respectful by doing that, and like you said, I think people are taught right from wrong,
Mm.
and like you said, treat people the way that you want to be treated.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But so that's like the key word though there, like respect, making sure that no matter what you want out of the relationship, we've talked about this, whether it's a friendship, a romantic relationship, a relationship between a child and a parent, it
Mhm.
really does truly come down to that respect. And if
Absolutely.
that's not there,
Then it's not just like a relationship between me and you, friends, I
yes.
mean, we need to respect one another and our differences and
Hmm.
just as who we are, and we do. And it is.
Yeah.
It all comes comes down to respect.
Yeah. Even though I feel like we have more similarities than differences, so maybe we have an easier time.
Yeah, but, you know, it's the communication too. Respect,
Yes.
communication, all of that.
Yeah, very true. Well, there's another ship word that I'm going to throw at you that you
You
definitely, okay, because you've definitely heard this one. And it's actually, can be called something else. So this is situationship, or wait for it, there's another word you can use. Friend, like friend, friend.
I've never
So what do
heard
you think?
I've never heard friend, situationship, yes, but not um
Yeah, but it means the same, it means the same thing. It means the same thing. So what do you think? Either of those, if you used either of those terms, what do you think they would mean?
a situationship.
Yeah. Or an friend.
I think it just doesn't sound good. Friend. It sounds like you're friending them or something. I know it's friend, but a situationship is just it's someone that's not taking the relationship seriously, maybe somebody that's just using it for their own personal needs. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but that's like close. It's basically that you're in the middle. And at least when it comes to calling it an friend, it's like if someone asked you, "Oh, what are you guys?" Um, Friends, or you could say, in a situationship, you're not official, but you're also like in a phase that's not friendship. Wow, this sounds very similar, familiar for me. That's why this term definitely stood out to me, being like an friend or a situationship. But does that make sense? Like you're somewhere in the middle, and just no one is making any moves to say that maybe you're something more.
Right, like they haven't given it a second thought to
Yes.
what where the relationship's going. It's just a situationship. It's just there.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, are we friends? Are we girlfriend, boyfriend, girlfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, boyfriend, whatever, or partner, or whatever terms that you want to use with your person? You
Mhm.
just don't know. You're just in the middle.
Yeah.
So that one, I feel as if a lot of people can connect to that sort of thing nowadays, because I feel like that's more and more common.
Yeah.
I
Well,
hear it a lot.
I don't like that one. I don't really like a lot
No.
of those, but
No, they're all negative. This is awful. Like even all the new age terms are because of the not positive things that people do to each other while dating.
well, I think, we're learning and I think it's best to be positive, and that's the way that I plan to be, is to be positive and just to be open and honest and upfront with what I'm looking for in a relationship. And if that person's not on the same page with me, then it's just you just move on. You
Yeah.
just don't linger on, and you don't drag that person on just because you don't want to be alone. And I
Yeah.
find some people do that. That's like a situationship where you just do it because, but like I said,
Yeah, you're right. And of course, this last one, everybody knows this one. Ghosting.
yeah. But is that for real? Is that a real thing? It's just,
Yeah,
I mean, ghost.
people do it.
Yeah. In my day, we called it getting stood up. So,
True.
um, so back in the day, you used to get stood up, which is basically the same thing as ghosting, right? They just
Yeah,
disappear.
you're right.
So, meanwhile, when you're waiting for someone to come pick you up, and they don't, because we didn't have, cell phones, all that stuff, and they never showed up. So that was stood up.
True.
So it's basically the same thing. But I mean, I think, people do it for many different reasons. I think they do it because sometimes maybe people are scared and nervous.
Mm.
I don't think some people do it to be mean, or I don't, or just they just get nervous
Well,
and afraid. I don't know. I mean, we really don't
yeah,
know what's going on behind someone's mind, or what's
yeah.
going on inside their head about how they're feeling in with a relationship. And just, sometimes people just freeze up, Kaitlyn. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, it comes back down, circles back around to like that respect and communication, because all these terms
Mm-hmm.
would not be a thing if people respected people, communicated, and above all else, what I think you and I are learning is making sure you have firm boundaries. So avoiding all these terms,
Right.
you need to figure out exactly where the line is for you and what your boundaries are, and know, like, just getting to know a person, being the best you can be getting to know a person, but knowing that if they do something that you're like, not exactly what I see down the line, us being able to work together because you've done X, Y, and Z, that's when your boundaries come into place and you say, you tell them about your boundary. And if they can't respect that, then you got to move on.
Well, exactly. I agree with that. It's about being respectful of others, and it's communication. You need to have communication. If you're talking to someone, you have been talking to someone for a while and dated and seen each other a few times, I think it's good to be open and honest with one another, up front at first, and
Yeah.
that way you both know where you're going. And I
Yeah.
think, like you said, I think it's best just to be open and honest with them. If somebody, if you don't like a certain thing, or if they don't, they should be open and honest. That's the way relationships work. I mean, you need to, and I know I
Yeah.
keep saying this, but you need to have good communication. You need to communicate. You need to keep those lines of communication open. That way you can, and, sometimes we don't like hearing things that we do that aren't okay or that aren't right. You know what I mean? Or if we
Yes.
hurt somebody.
Mm.
Sometimes we don't know that we hurt somebody's feelings by our actions, certain things. But I think that you just gotta be open and honest and say, well, this is, you know, I,
Yeah. No, I agree. You definitely have to be willing to say what's going on and communicate it, and but that's part of, like I said, acknowledging where you stand, like knowing that you need to have that conversation, because they may not know that they did anything wrong, but once you have that conversation and there's no change or no respect, that's when you're like, okay, goodbye, toodaloos.
yeah, no, they may not know, and you're getting to learn each other. You're learning
Yes.
you're learning about each other. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to like everything about somebody. I mean, we could,
No.
but I'm just saying there are going to be, just like you,
Yeah.
there are some things that you do that irritate me, and I'm sure there are things that I do that irritate you.
Oh, it's not is that is the truth, people. Oh my goodness.
But we tell each other stuff. We don't hold back, and we're honest and open about it. And
Yes.
that's how you
Yeah.
keep a good relationship, because hey, I'm not saying this to hurt you. I'm saying,
Yeah. Because if not, you're gonna bottle it up and it's just gonna
yeah.
continue to burst open, and you're gonna be like, oh my goodness, making it worse
And it's
instead
gonna,
of making it.
and it's going to damage the relationship. So you need to
Yes.
be able to be okay, and we need to be okay for them to come to us and tell us, hey, I don't like what you're
Yes.
doing. It's not
Yeah.
just on our side.
Yeah. No, it's understanding and being able to take in what they're saying and really respecting that and making the changes that you need to, which sometimes it can be hard to break habits. At least for me, I know, because some of the habits I do kind of wrap into things I'm working on, like insecurities I have. So it can be tough to, tweak maybe what you're doing. But if it's a reasonable, rational, like, I totally understand why you're saying this and what I'm doing really is impacting you in this way, then, as you're saying, Lisa, to build a good relationship, you need to acknowledge it and work on it. Both ways,
Yes.
both whoever's involved. So,
Yes, it's for
yeah.
both people, whoever's involved, whatever the
Yeah.
relationship may be.
Exactly. So really making sure, I think you mentioned this and I loved this, is, looking at who you surround yourself with, because they're an extension of yourself. So if those conversations that you're having with someone, if that's not changing and they're not respecting you and the communication's not there, it's like, well, do you really want someone like that in your life to, they're part of your life. So you need to uphold what your morals are.
Absolutely. I mean, kindness goes a long way. What do they say? You get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar, right?
True. Very true. That is that saying. So, but
It's
yeah,
true. Yeah. It is.
thank you, Lisa, for entertaining me with trying to fish out some of the meanings of these new age dating terms.
Well, Kaitlyn, you're always very entertaining. So thank you once again.
Oh, I try. I try my best. And thank you all for listening. Hopefully you came up with some new terms to use. Hopefully actually you don't use them because they're pretty negative, but hopefully you'll be able to identify if these things are happening to you and you're able to set your boundaries and say, I'm out. I deserve so much better. I'm more than staying in any of these situations.
Right. And you're not
So,
alone, people. You're not alone. A lot of people are going through the same thing. Remember, God is always with you.
yes,
Sometimes it
he
might not
is.
feel like he is, but he is. He's with you. He's got your backs. So can't wait to do another podcast with Kaitlyn.
Yeah. As we continue to explore all of this with you guys, as always, you can find us at Any Age Podcast on Instagram and Facebook.